Hello there. Going to be a pretty short video, but as you can see, we are just a short 3 days, 17 hours, 48 minutes, 30 plus seconds away from the next release for Path of Exile 2, 0.2.0. The second iteration, I guess, of Path of Exile 2's early access. And I just wanted to hop on here briefly. It's been a long time since I made a video. Just wanted to hop on here to go over just a couple of the highlights of the things that have been released so far, things that I'm looking most forward to, and then just a quick short little plan of what I plan to do at League Start. And I may put out another video shortly before League Start actually occurs, going over builds that I'm interested in, but I'll give you a little preview of that today. So it looks like for the past 3 months, since December, I guess it was, when Path of Exile 2 early release first came out, 0.1, they've had about 3 months, really about 2 months, given they had a really long holiday break, which was much deserved, to put a lot of work into the game. And I am particularly excited for all the stuff that they've done in the end game. So, for the record, I really enjoy the sort of pacing and speed of the campaign. It took a little bit of time to get used to, and yes, it certainly is slower than Path of Exile 1's campaign, but I don't necessarily think that's a terrible thing. I really enjoy playing the campaign. I don't really enjoy playing Path of Exile 1 campaign, so that may contribute to why I don't mind the longer Path of Exile 2 campaign. But it seems like they put a majority of the work for the 0.2 update into the end game, which is obviously where I'm going to be spending the most hours, and so that's what I'm the most excited about. So, to give you an idea of some of the things that I'm most excited about with the end game change, I've got like 2 or 3 things that come top of mind. Number one, I cannot tell you, when I heard this update, when I heard this change coming, it seems so simple, but yet I never thought of it. And I just love the change so much because it makes so much sense. I think it is absolutely the correct thing to do. And I think at the end of the day, it's not that even big of a change, but it just, I don't know, it was like eureka when I heard the change. So doing pinnacle content, that's any of the like quote end game bosses, the breach boss, ritual boss, arbiter, those kinds of things. Those things will no longer cause you to lose XP when you die there. And then also you will no longer be able to gain XP while you are there. And obviously that's a bit of a fair trade-off. If you're not going to be penalized for dying, then why should you get the reward of being in there in the first place, experience-wise? But man, that is such a welcome change. I cannot tell you how many times I would have been in my chair ready to go do a boss, but I didn't want to do it because I was susceptible to dying. It's a pinnacle boss, and you want to try to push to the highest level you can do. I didn't want to lose XP, right? And particularly when you're high level 94, 5, 6, beyond that, dying is just so unattractive, losing 10% HP, or 10% XP, so unattractive that you just flat out choose not to do the pinnacle content, right? Now, obviously, this isn't a big deal on hardcore because, if you're playing hardcore, you can't die anyways. So, sorry, I love how I haven't had anything in my eye all day, and then the moment I decided to turn on a video, here we are. Okay. But yeah, just such a welcome change. I think it makes complete and total sense. From a design perspective, you want players to be engaging with that pinnacle boss content as much as possible, if they want to be, if the player wants to be. So you don't want anything sort of inhibiting them from doing that, and that whole XP penalty thing was just really unfortunate. And I think it sort of separate pinnacle content from mapping, which there's already a separation there. So this, I think, is just part of that separation, and I really cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to that. I'm also really excited about other changes with pinnacle content. the lower the level of the pinnacle content, the more times you can die. So instead of, oh, I die one time, I lose access to my pinnacle boss fight. No. Now you can die 1, 2, 3 times at a low level pinnacle boss and you can still go back in. It gives you the chance to learn the fight without feeling like you're being punished economically. Because that was always the biggest thing for me, right? Why should I run this, pinnacle boss when I can just sell the key and make currency, right? Because I have a possibility, because I'm not very good at boss content, self-admittedly. Also, the builds that I tend to make never tend to be good single target. So, anyways, um, why would I do pinnacle boss content when I can just sell the key and make money, right? Because I have a risk of not getting anything if I choose to run the content. So this now kind of alleviates that fear, because not only do you get multiple portals and do you not lose XP, but also the boss items that were, exclusive to the highest tier now will be able to drop at the lower tiers just at a much lower drop rate. So it just feels like you're much less economically disadvantaged from doing boss content. I just think I'm going to be doing way more boss content this league, which I am excited about, because it's probably the area of the game that I feel like I need the most growth in personally. And so I'm just really excited about everything to do with pinnacle content, the changes. They're going to be nerfing the HP values for the early bosses. I just think it's going to be so much more rewarding. I think all the changes make sense, and I'm just so happy about the pinnacle boss changes. Other things that I'm excited about with the end game, obviously the updates to just waystones and like waystone sustain. I think that's going to be really, really nice early. I'm excited that I'm no longer just going to be completing X number of tier whatever maps to get my pinnacle points or my Atlas passive points. I'm going to be traveling with some sort of objective on the Atlas itself. I think that's really welcome. It's going to give players and myself a much it's going to give us a much more increased feeling of I'm trying to do something rather than I'm just grinding something. I'm really excited about this whole like corrupted versus cleansed mapping system that's going to be going on in the Atlas. I think that's got a lot of really cool, interesting things to explore. If you're interested about the details of that, I suggest you go rewatch the video, and then also the 2-hour Ziggy D interview. They go in depth with that pretty thoroughly. And yeah, just all of the changes really sound like positive changes. So I'm not really upset about anything. Obviously there's a lot of things that we don't know, like skill balance. I think that's all just going to be like so radically different from how it was in 0.1 that I really just don't have anything to say about that right now. Spark did get name dropped as getting nerfed, so that's probably going to be hopefully not a dead build, but I mean we'll see. And yeah, so it's really just the end game changes that I'm super looking forward to. I already kind of enjoyed the campaign. There's going to be some little quality of life things that show up there. But yeah, it's the end game that I'm really looking forward to, because that's where I'm going to be spending a lot of my hours after these 3 days, 17 hours, 19 minutes, and now 54 seconds are up. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in maps. So really looking forward to the expansion here, or the next game release. And in terms of my plans, I'm probably league starting minions. I love minion builds. Minions were really clunky in 0.1, and by the time they made the quality of life changes that they made, I had already moved on. So I'm really looking forward to like giving it another try, and seeing how it feels. Obviously, specters are new. That's probably going to be pretty busted in a couple of different places. So that's going to be pretty fun to just see how sort of broke the game is, and how sort of into the curve you can get compared to other players. We'll see. Beyond that, I don't really have any other really big goals other than I just want to have a lot of fun and hopefully make a lot of currency and make some pretty good characters. I am gonna probably be shooting for a mapping character first, someone who's gonna be able to level up and do a lot of the mapping content quickly. I think there's a lot of currency that's going to be coming from mapping. And then I think I'm going to try to use all that currency to obviously upgrade that character to be as efficient as I feel like I need to be. You know, being able to just sort of crank out juiced T15s and T16s. Once I feel like that character's in a satisfactory spot, I'll then sort of start, or if I get a couple of items, you know, that are good for a particular thing, I'm going to look to then make a true single target bossing character. And I'm going to try to do that with some intentionality. You know, it's one thing to want to make a bossing character and, you know, come up with what this character will look like at level 95, 97, whatever, with all of your items and your skills and passive tree. It's another thing to actually get that character there. So that can be some of the less enjoyable tasks, right? You kind of just wish you could snap your fingers and have a level 95 character to play with. So yeah, I mean, thinking about how to level that character most efficiently, because that's going to take a long time in Path of Exile 2, you know, getting through the campaign and getting you know, that high level does take some time, and I'm going to try to do that with a little bit more intentionality this time. So I'll probably look at ahead of time what kinds of builds are good for that class and getting me there. I haven't necessarily done that in the past. I just sort of, sometimes I don't make a bossing character because I just don't want to put in the work. But I'm going to really try to do that with intentionality this time. All right, so anyways, to close things out, I am super excited for the launch in a couple of days. Can't wait till patch notes come out. When patch notes come out, that may be the time that I make one more video here going over what I'm excited about for the League. But gosh, and there's so many things I didn't mention. Rogue Exiles, more unique items, all the support gems. I mean, my goodness, it is going to be a ton of stuff to digest. I am just beyond thrilled and really excited at all that's going to be coming out. So much so that I don't even really want to get involved in any other games right now because I don't want to get any of my attention taken away from this. So with just a couple of days left to go. So with that, all that being said, thanks for tuning in. I'll be trying to put together a lot of videos for the PoE 2 with this new update coming out, and so I hope you'll be along for the ride. Appreciate it.